Good morning, afternoon, and evening, wherever you are, and welcome back to another NerdTube DC animated review. I am Cousin Cheeto of NerdTube, and we're going to get right into it because now Harley Quinn is back on HBO Max with a season 3. And holy balls, do we have a lot to talk about. So, like I was doing with Young Justice, with Harley Quinn here, I'm going to kind of just be breaking it down, with its base parts, especially since there's 3 episodes here. I'm just going to kind of breeze through it a little bit. Please feel free to leave a comment below on what your favorite part of these episodes were, or what your least favorite part of these episodes were. Was this review the least favorite part of these episodes? Also, leave a like and consider subscribing to NerdTube. We are the greatest YouTube channel you kind of maybe sort of heard of. Let's get right into it. So we start off with Harley Quinn Season 3, Episode 1, HarIvy, which is going to be their celeb name, apparently. We start out by HarIvy are watching a porn based on themselves, which, trust me, everybody has thought about this for eons and eons and eons since the animated series came out, and everybody was shipping Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy. So it is just really funny to see this. It was goofy for them to be watching it, but even goofier is that they're watching it in the Fortress of Solitude, and so Jor-El comes on the screen and he's telling them that they can't stay or do whatever, and it's just like they're kind of looking at the screen going, what the hell? And then Soups himself comes on there and he's and then, HarIvy take off out of the Fortress of Solitude because they've been shacked up there for a while. And apparently they're on the Eat, Bang, Kill tour. So then we get after that, and after they run out of the Fortress of Solitude, they get on the Invisible Jet, Wonder Woman's Invisible Jet. We get a montage of them running around and doing shenanigans together and enjoying their relationship, which is kind of what I wanted to see in the beginning of this. And they end up at the end of these shenanigans, they make it to London, and then they steal Queen Elizabeth. What is Zam going to think when he sees this? He won't see this because Zam doesn't watch Harley Quinn. But Zam, you need to watch at least episode 1 of season 3 so you can see them steal Queen Elizabeth and toss her out of a plane. Spoiler, but I figure that's like what your dreams are made out of. So, but just kind of shenanigans. They've been collecting things, they've stolen things, they've beat people up. They've just done all this stuff in this Eat, Bang, Kill tour. So, transitioning back to Gotham City, we're in a mayoral debate between the current mayor and Commissioner Gordon. He's running for mayor. And also shenanigans. Harvey Dent is his political advisor, or his campaign manager, and Gordon swears that he's going to bring Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy in, because that's how he's going to win the election and stuff like that. Not really, but we'll get back to that. Put a pin in that. We'll be back. In their tour, they wind up in like this this utopia of prehistoric plants that Poison Ivy made a long time ago, and Harley Quinn took her there to kind of give her like some inspiration and some comfort and everything like that. And so, Harley Quinn's just trying to, lean into what Poison Ivy also wants to do, because obviously Harley just wants to beat people up and kill people and steal things and blow things up and all that other stuff. So, yay! So we get to... so all of a sudden they get a call Harley gets a call from King Shark and Clayface, who are locked up in Arkham Asylum by Commissioner Gordon, who are being tortured. So, of course, Harley is kind of feeling the mode when it comes to, like, not wanting to really do, like, Poison Ivy's very excited and she's experimenting with the plants and everything like that, and Harley Quinn's like, I really want to support you, but this kind of sucks. So she jumps at the opportunity to go and rescue King Shark and Clayface. So they do that. They go and they save them. As they are leaving Arkham Asylum, they bump into Amanda Waller. And so that's what we think. That's all we see. All we see is a shadowy character, and Harley walks up and says, who do you think you are? You bumped into Poison Ivy, one of the premier badass villains, blah, blah, blah. And so that's it. And then, Poison Ivy says, come on, let's go. Fast forward a little bit. And, next we move into the mayor's office, where he's giving Commissioner Gordon a good ream. And, Commissioner Gordon basically says, we'll see in the election who's taking whose job. And so Dent it is revealed that Harvey Dent is now the old mayor's, which I don't remember his name. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't write it down. The old mayor's, he's switched sides. He's now the campaign manager for the current mayor of Gotham. And so Commissioner Gordon takes the vote for Gordon or whatever pin, and he throws it out the window, and a series of events, come out. It goes do 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 do, and then I don't remember what it was. Something came down, and it was a big pole, and it just came in right through the current mayor. So indirectly, Gordon killed the current mayor. I don't know if they actually address this anymore in this episode. But I mean, that's it. Like, Commissioner Gordon inadvertently killed the current mayor of Gotham City. Yay. After that, we fast forward a little bit, and so Harley Quinn, then it is revealed when they're back, and there's like a muffled sound, and Harley and Poison Ivy's like, "Who is that?" Harley pulls out a body bag, and basically she kidnapped Amanda Waller. When she had the opportunity to do that after they met, I don't know, but whatevs. So, of course, Harley doesn't recognize her. She knows the name, but she doesn't recognize Amanda Waller. But Poison Ivy's like, you know who you just stole, right? The leader of the freaking Suicide Squad. All right, so, she does this whole montage with the Suicide Squad. You got Captain Boomerang, you got Deadshot, you got, I don't know, there's some other ones in there. Enchantress, and there's like one or two other ones, but I don't remember at this point. So what happens is then, what is it? Plastique. So Plastique comes in, and she's there to rescue Amanda Waller because apparently the A-Team Suicide Squad is off liberating some country in South America, I think is what she said. So yeah, they got Plastique. So after that, we go to where Clayface is having an audition for James Gunn, and he's not really impressed. James Gunn is not, and yeah, I know it's James Gunn. Like he just did the Suicide Squad movie last year, so of course he's going to be involved in DC projects. So James Gunn does not hire him as an actor, but he does hire him as a chair. So apparently he's super soft, and like he's like, your body looks like shit, but it's made of, but it feels like clouds. Okay. So yeah. So Clayface gets casted as James Gunn's chair. Sure. Okay. In the end of the episode, there's basically shenanigans in the Ivy Utopia, whatever you want to call it. And Plastique essentially just destroys this prehistoric garden, like in fighting. What happens is as they're fighting, eventually Harley and Ivy capture Plastique, and of course she's Plastique, so of course she's got bombs, so of course she's rigged herself to blow. So she pulls out a trigger and hits it, and then it beeps for a couple seconds, and then she says, hold on, it takes a couple seconds, it beeps, and then everything exploded. And as they look around, they see that the entire prehistoric oasis, or whatever you want to call it, has been destroyed. So, and then Harley gives this inspirational speech about how she wants to be with her, and that's, and even though she's bored by the plants, she wants to be with her. So we're going to see more about that and more about these plants and everything like that. They do concoct this scheme to get this formula that's supposed to make plants like evolve faster or anything like that. So that kind of leads into the next episode. So season 3, episode 2, there's no Ivy in team. This is essentially your bring the team together and they make a hot mess of everything episode, but done with more comedic value. At the beginning of this episode, we see Nightwing on a bus sitting right next to Harley Quinn. Nightwing's monologuing. After they get off the bus, Harley Quinn and Ivy steal the Wayne Mobile, as I call it. The Wayne Mobile is like the normal car for Bruce Wayne that Alfred drives. It's not the Batmobile. So the Wayne Mobile. And then Harley Quinn and Ivy bust through the wall of the mall. Wall of the mall. And is back with the crew of Clayface, King Shark, and I can't remember this guy right down here. What was his? I don't remember. I didn't write it down. His name. And then essentially, so they kind of are they're starting a scheme They say that Poison Ivy has a plan, and Poison Ivy's just not feeling it. She's like, you know what? Let's just get settled first, and then we'll talk about the plan and yada yada like that. So because Harley's hyping it up like it's the next big thing. So then we go to the Batcave where we see Nightwing returning home. He meets Batgirl, Damian Wayne's Robin. He can suck a bag of dicks, and Macaroni, which is apparently Alfred's alias. He looks like this French Renaissance whatever, is goofy looking. So I find it funny now that Alfred's in the Bat family, at least in this iteration of the Bat family. It was just hilarious. But yeah, so of course Nightwing and Damian, just like in the animated universe, in the animated movie universe, they're of course butting heads in the beginning. They say, "Oh, Firefly's doing blah blah blah. We gotta go." And then so the Batmobile's up. Then I think Nightwing calls shotgun, but then he looks over and like Robin's already in there giving him the bird. And then Batgirl's riding off on her motorcycle. So of course, Nightwing is stuck riding with Macaroni. 11 minutes. That is a record. All right. Anyway, so. Ivy unveils her plan, and it is very organized. It is very like binders this thick of just plans and contingencies and everything like that. This crew does not do well with organization. I mean, let's be real. This crew just you organize something and it's destined to fail. It's really funny though because Clayface actually mentions this whole montage of things that could happen, and like it actually does. I think it was one of the guards picked up an extra shift because he's going to propose to his girlfriend, and yada yada yada. Whatever. So I mean that was kind of funny, but kind of on the nose. That was a little bit of ham humor. It was kind of dumb, but kind of funny at the same time. So apparently they're stealing this. They basically make mention in the heist reveal that they're doing the Jurassic Park thing where there's like this mosquito in like tree sap, and they all mention like, oh, that's Jurassic Park, And Ivy had never seen it, and Harley's like, that's like 90% of my personality is Jeff Goldblum references. I thought that was funny. But yeah, so they're stealing this mosquito encased in what's it called, in sap, hardened over the centuries. So apparently there's something in this mosquito that they can, the DNA of plants and stuff like that they can get. So they steal that, and then but the whole plan goes awry, and I believe they get it. I don't even remember. Yeah, they do get it because they make the serum later. And so, but the whole plan is a shit show. And so what happens is they get back to the base, and Ivy basically says, look, I really feel like I should... God damn it. I feel like I should do this on my own. So, okay. Ivy's kind of a lone wolf, and Harley actually works better with the crew. So, yeah. So we also get a scene, and I honestly didn't write down where this is but Bane is apparent. He comes in, and I think this is probably the first time we see when they come into the mall, or maybe it's during the planning process or of the heist. But Bane comes in, and he basically says that he's wanting one of his wedding gifts back for Ivy and Kite Man's from last season, and he will have his revenge. And so he leaves and then goes to a bomb shop or an arson shop or a death boom shop. I don't know what you want to call it. An army surplus store, maybe? I don't know. And he's buying stuff, and of course his card keeps getting declined. So they sell all his explosives to Calendar Man. He's like, what's he going to do? Blow up Valentine's Day? Like, just, I don't know. Bane is one of the more funny characters I feel in this show. And I kind of wish he was a part of the crew, but at the same time, him not being there all the time makes it even funnier. So I don't know. I'm very torn on whether I want him there all the time or if I just want him kind of popping up every couple episodes or a little bit every episode. And But yeah, so Bane eventually then goes to the bank, and I don't know where this is in the episode. I didn't write it down, but it's just hilarious. They're talking about, it's like, I am Bane. She's like, Mr. Bane, I don't see, I am Bane, the Bane. So it's Bane. I mean, doing Bane things. So we go back to Team Harley, where she then takes the crew to a escape room, which turns out to be a real escape room, as in like death traps made by the Riddler, although he's called the, God, what was his name? The Quandary, something. I don't remember what it is. He was something. It was clearly Riddler, but it wasn't actually. He went by another name. He had a different outfit on. I guess it's Riddler's escape rooms is Riddler's side hustle that actually kill people. Because some guy walks in and he's like, "Hi, I'm an escape room enthusiast," and then as soon as like something happens, he like this spear comes through the wall and like jabs him in the neck and up against the wall, and he's done. Like, goodbye. So now, of course, this room, I think it said they had 45 minutes to solve the escape room, otherwise they will all die. So we're going through this. They're trying to figure it out. They're looking through all the bookshelves and everything to try to, do things. And I think Poison Ivy like pushes a candelabra over, and it starts to switch the rooms. And it's revealed that also the Bat Family is there, because earlier in this episode, the Bat Family also had a clusterfuck of an adventure trying to fight Firefly. So Batgirl had the idea to do this whole escape room thing for team building. So, Batman's there, Nightwing's there, Damian's there, Macaroni, I think, is there, and obviously Batman. So, of course these people get separated. So I think you have like Harley's over with Batgirl, Ivy's with Nightwing, Clayface's with Robin and Batman, and I think King Shark too. So I mean, there's just a bunch of shenanigans going on, team building and everything like that. So yay! Some good stuff. I don't like the way they portrayed Nightwing is my favorite DC character. Like, he is he's not my favorite Robin. He's my favorite DC character. I'm sorry, he is. And if you've watched my Young Justice reviews, you know that. But I didn't like the way, I mean, this whole like whiny looking up to my dad. I know why they did it. It's for comedy value. I don't think it ruined the character of Nightwing, because obviously this is more for comedic rather than, an actual good Nightwing. It'll probably only be in this episode. But yeah, I he was a little bit whiny for me. So, and maybe I'm biased, but he's a little whiny for me. But it's okay. It worked out. Ivy solves the chest problem, because I think the spikes come down from the ceiling eventually, and Nightwing's like, I can't solve it, and he crawls inside and he wants to be stabbed by the thing. So the spikes in the ceiling, and then because he couldn't solve the chest, because he did a checkmate on the robot, but the idea was to let the robot like checkmate you the fastest way possible. So they survive that. So the escape room is over. They beat the escape room. The Riddler says, yeah, there you go. And I think they beat it with like 3 or 2 minutes to spare or something like that. He goes, you get your photo in a mug, and you only get 11 characters. Now fuck off. And, so that kind of ends that whole thing, which it was okay. I'm not going to lie. I mean, it was an okay episode. It was an okay part. At the end, Harley is trying to, do her chemical concoction and everything like that. And she destroys them all. Just as Bane is riding up he had all the explosives in the back of his car. He's driving up to destroy it, and they just destroy them all with the plants, like whatever's happening with the plants. So they destroy them all. Bane gets, I call it boom balls, because, instead of blue balls, boom balls. Haha, I'm clever. But yeah, so he gets boom balls, and it's, we move on from that. He's like, oh, I will have my revenge. I love Bane. I don't know why. He's just so stupid. So we move on from, that's episode 2. Episode 3 is the 83rd annual Villy Awards. Now, I believe we had the Villy Awards in another episode, season 1 or season 2. But I'm trying to remember it. But okay, so the crew gets set up in Selena Kyle Catwoman's apartment, because there's fucking cats everywhere and everything like that. Harley's breaking shit. So there's kind of some shenanigans there and everything like that. Uh, then they get the invite to the Villy Awards because Harley and Ivy are going to be they're nominated for Best Couple. So we show up to the Villy Awards, and also Riddler and Clock King were also nominated for Best Couple. I didn't know. I mean, I know it's not in the comic books, but like I don't know if they even insinuated in this that the Clock King and the Riddler were gay. I don't know. It doesn't bother me. I'm just like, where did this come from? Anyway, so Riddler and Clock King and Ivy and Harley, which let's be real, Harley and Ivy for the win always. And I love Riddler. Riddler is my favorite Batman villain, but look at these two over here. I mean, they're just so cute. Look at that dress. I was looking at this earlier. Like that dress that Poison Ivy's wearing, like, is just friggin' immaculate. I mean, all it is like flowers. Anyway, so speaking of dresses, the dresses they were wearing at this event was spectacular as well. Ivy seemed like she was barely wearing anything. It was all like, it was probably like that body paint stuff that was kind of just over wherever. It seemed like there was an actual dress there, but yeah, it was pretty revealing. And Harley, of course, was wearing just like a high slit, dress that looked really great. And it had her traditional red and black colors on it. So, we do that. Unfortunately, Poison Ivy and Harley find out that they are seated next to Kite Man, who makes his return in this episode. Love seeing Kite Man. Kite Man's great. And I do love what they did with him in this episode. We'll get into that here in a little bit. But I do love what they're doing with Kite Man in this episode. The Villy Awards kicks off, and you get a little song and dance from the Joker, where he has his Harley Quinn dancers that are in the old Harley Quinn outfit. And like Harley's like, I should really be pissed about this, but they got some moves. I can't lie. So they're in the classic animated series Harley outfits. So yeah, Joker has this little rendition. Of course, returning to voice is the wonderful, not Andy Serkis. I can't remember his name now. From Firefly, from Doom Patrol, from a million geeky things he's been a part of. And I mean, I've gotten used to his Joker. In the first season, I was a little iffy on it, but I've gotten used to it now. So he does a decent Joker. I'm okay with it. So eventually, as these things are going on, they're eating, they're doing all these other things, they're drinking. Harley is trying to figure out who won the best couple. And so she followed a gentleman who had a briefcase handcuffed to his wrist into the bathroom, taking a leak. And then Harley tries to take the briefcase, or tells him to give him the briefcase. And he turns out to be a robot. Like, pure ass Terminator 2 robot. Like, red eyes and all. So their fight, I thought it might have been like, oh God, what, Tomo? No. What's his name? Why am I forgetting his name? Oh, I suck so bad at this. Amazo. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. But I thought it was going to be Amazo. But actually, and we saw Metallo actually in the background. There was a plethora of villains, and I really should have wrote all of them down. But there were like Reverse Flash, Metallo. Just a ton of people that stuck out to me when I was watching the episode. Cheetah. Man, who else was there? But anyway, okay. So long story long. So Harley is basically starting to fight this robot. Ivy goes outside and she sits down on a bench next to a lady, and it's Kite Man's girl. They find out through chatting that she's Kite Man's girlfriend. And her name is Golden Glider, which is actually someone who's been in the DC Arrowverse before. I remember her from the Arrowverse. I think she's Heatwave's sister, I believe. Or maybe Captain Cold's sister. I don't remember. It's one of the two. So we go back inside after they're having a little conversation, and we find out that Catwoman has won the Joe Chill Award, and they kind of do like a thing here where she basically walks up and she says, 83 years and I'm the first black person to win this award. I don't know this. it didn't feel like it didn't feel like they were trying to like push the not an agenda. I don't want to call it an agenda. It's not, but like a social like a social allegory for like real life. I don't know if they were trying to do that here, and it just didn't land right. But I mean, with the with the Oscars and everything like that, like the Oscars so white or whatever it was. I don't know if they were trying to do that. I didn't mind, but it just felt a little out of place for this show, at least in this retrospect. I don't know. They could have built it up better. They could have done some foreshadowing, maybe. I don't know. It just seemed very tonally weird for this episode. So, whatever. Okay. So then she sees that. Well, what happened is that Billy Bob Thornton came over because I forgot this whole part, but Clayface convinced Billy Bob Thornton to come over to Catwoman's house disguised as James Gunn, and they were going to run lines or whatever, talk about whatever. And so Billy Bob Thornton knew it wasn't James Gunn, obviously. And so he goes to go use the bathroom and goes to the wrong room and lets the tiger out. And the tiger kills Billy Bob Thornton. No more Billy Bob Thornton. Sorry, Monsters Ball, you're out. So now Clayface has to call King Shark to come clean up the mess. And King Shark comes in and eats the body. Okay, I guess. Like King Shark cleaning up the mess. And so King Shark basically says, look, why in the world would you want to take over big star actor Billy Bob Thornton's life, whose life is obviously so busy, in contrast to your not so busy life. And so I think we're going to get a Clayface like trying to live Billy Bob Thornton's life in this season, I guess. I don't know. Because we see him on, like, James Gunn's on the phone later, and Billy Bob Thornton, Clayface disguised as Billy Bob Thornton is talking to him. And obviously he's acting a little weird. So anyway, we go back, and Golden Glider and Ivy are having their moment outside where they talk about, look, we should be here for Kite Man and for Harley. Like, let's get past this. Let's be fucking adults, and let's do this. And they're like, yeah, let's do it. So Golden Glider and Ivy head inside. Golden Glider helps Kite Man from falling over. Because they're a kid. Golden Glider and Kite Man are a really cute couple. Let's be real. I mean, and it's Golden Glider and Kite Man. Match made in heaven. Harley just gets her ass kicked by this Terminator T-800 robot. It's just, they're just going back to back, and I mean they're just fighting the fuck out of each other in this bathroom and destroying each other. And in the end, Harley does win. She rips off the arm that has the what's it called, the briefcase on it. She cracks it open. She starts to look through it. And then the Terminator robot hand jumps out, grabs it, and then shoves it in her mouth, and then flicks her off. And I'm like, oh God, what is going on with this show? I thought it was great. I mean, I thought it was funny, but I'm like, oh God, Cousin It was the hairy one. What's the hand from Addams Family? I don't remember. Leave it in the comments. You guys know better than I do. And a quick Google search will tell you. Anyway, so all that's going on. Ivy goes to find Harley, who's all messed up. She walks in the bathroom, or no, I'm sorry, Kite Man walks into the bathroom, sees Harley on top of this robot pulling a paper out of his mouth, and Kite Man's like, hey, what you doing? So Harley and Kite Man get to have their moment where they're basically saying, look, because Harley's like, you should really hate me and blah blah blah, and he's like, actually, this has really worked out great because Golden Glider is fantastic, and I love her, and and I know it's moving quick, but we're good for each other, just like you and Ivy are, and it was good. It was good character moments. There was good vocal work here. I don't know. There was really good moments in this show or in this episode that just I really felt progression with the characters. They didn't do the bullshit Kite Man jealous for a long time. Like they're like, no, like I'm good. Like I'm good. I moved on. Like, did it suck? Yeah, but we moved on. So afterward, Ivy then Harley's coming out of the bathroom because she's like, you know what? I don't care if I win this award. And Ivy catches up with Harley. They say, fuck the Villies, and they leave. And apparently Harley and Ivy win. the best couple, and they're gone. And Riddler and Clock King are so very upset. Clock King blames it on his clock face, whatever. And yeah, so that's pretty much it for all 3 episodes. I know this review ran a little bit long, but good. I feel a good, strong first 3 episodes. A little bit of here and there that is a little bit getting a little bit of fatigue with the show. But honest and truly, I feel like they're keeping it fresh enough, and they're not bullshitting. It's, I feel like it's in a good direction going into this season. So with that all being said, everybody, thank you very much for joining me. And as I said before, please leave a like, leave a comment, and consider subscribing to NerdTube. We are the greatest YouTube channel you've kind of maybe sort of heard of. I will catch you guys next week for Harley Quinn episode 4. Bye-bye.